Quivering Lipstuffer from Lower Lipstuffer writes, with both hands off my Michaels, get your own brand of impenetrable humour, don't wait for it to rot or take a belief out of my blooks, mate, eats team mutates mute and watch the box melt lemox. Off on switch again, sir, it's all right for some poor sod all, and tonight's the nightmare of mucus succumb, which is the same as Sackmas backwards off the ball. I bowled a hat full of heads. I win a trip to the if void is function of if loop returns space isn't empty, sugar planet, zero, right, juice box, and deglove small bowls by massive sack, old brown dwarf's horse, cock-eared, a bloken record shop at Aldilat Lidl.
Do you like dishevelled man with beard struggling to read nonsense? Or do you prefer smart, clean-shaven man talking sense? Hello, my name is something like Tim, and I am a normal man that talks absolute sense for the next few seconds, and then it's back to the dishevelled man.
Hello and welcome to Fugcast. As you can see, this episode is in visual format of MP4. Usually Fugcast episodes are in MP3, which is audio only. This is part 1, and you can listen to part 2 by becoming a Patreon subscriber. Simply head over to patreon.com/Fugcast. In other news, I have a new album out, which you can hear by going to fugwodge.bandcamp.com. I weighed myself this morning, 17 grams the scale said, which means I need to lose some weight if I want to win Bristol's most insubstantial man contest, in which all participants line up and are blown against wall by local hard man Steve, who is tough for sure, but has really weak lungs and has trouble breathing. My neighbour Darren Ian won last year. He was completely blown apart and died in the process, but still won. My other neighbour, Ben John, is entering this year, and he is very insubstantial, sort of gas-like. But so much so that they won't know if he's there, so I'm not worried about him. Although my other neighbour, Sue Jill, is a sort of ghost lady and can be seen if you believe in ghosts, which everyone involved in competition does, except this year's judge, Jill. So hopefully I can win, because there's only one other contestant called the name David, and he's a big solid bloke from up north.
I'm called the name Chris H, and I'm a pretty normal English male. I'm looking for a sandwich that not only tastes nice but also smells amazing. My last sandwich did not smell so nice, so I gave to man on bus and said, "Here you go, bud." And the man said, "Thanks, matey, I love kipper and blue cheese sandwich."
I'm meeting a friend for a drink tonight, and I'm really looking forward to it. Sorry, I mean not looking forward to it. I always do that. forget to say not, like when my wife asks if I want to go to dinner with boring couple who talk about loft conversion, and I say, I would like to go, forgetting to add not before like. And so we go. And it is really fun. Oh, sorry, I did it again. Anyway, I'm meeting this friend later, but I don't really want to because he tends to bang on about his loft conversion.
Hi, I have been actually dreaming about sandwich. Ooh, baby. Made with one of those hexagonal pyramid loaves and featuring special cheese, tomato, lattice hunter's picnicle, Lego and Waitrose receipt. But will it be as good in real life?
Do you know what I hate? Meaning. Like when I say, can you move up, mate, to man on bus, and he says, what do you mean? And I say, move closer to window so I can sit down. And he looks at me blankly, so I sit down in empty seat behind him and mutter. It's the same when I paint picture of robot fighting Father Christmas and hang it in my daughter's classroom. Teacher, whose name is Stevens, says, what's the meaning of this? And I just stare at him and pretend to chew gum. Obviously, there is no deeper meaning. It's just robot fighting Father Christmas. That's it. And when I listen to film critic reviewing film about monster that goes around stabbing people, who says it's actually about modern isolation and things like that, I say, no, it's not. Just look at a picture of director on IMDb. He looked like a boiled egg with face drawn on in felt tip by someone wearing boxing gloves.
Do you like man with ketchup on his face? Or do you prefer man without ketchup on his face? A clean man. A sensible man who doesn't see the point of smearing ketchup on face. Hello, my name is something like Tam, and I am a normal man with clean, shiny face. And do you know how? Well, I tell you, it is easy. I simply don't smear ketchup on face. Unlike this man.
My waistline fluctuates in perfect synchronization with my bank balance. Money goes in, balance goes up. Waistline expands, balance dips. And waistline still expands, but at a slower rate, because when the balance is low, I can't afford to buy so many cream buns. Now, the reason my bank balance is low at the moment is because I've spent all money on cream buns. But don't worry, it'll soon go back up when I sell all those cream buns back to the cream bun shop. And you add comment saying, wait, what? Eh? What? Dude, what? And I don't respond.
Fuckcast is an absurdist comedy podcast written by Sam Langley. Each episode, Sam says things that don't seem to make any sense, but under analysis are very revealing. He often talks about his itchy arnus. From a Freudian perspective, the arnus is related to the father-son relationship. It is well known that Sam's father was a wool salesman, and it was very cheap wool, and all of the family's clothing was made of it, including briefs, jockey shorts, knickers, and jockstraps. Something that Sam often mentions in episodes is soup. Soup is related to feelings of comfort and warmth. Here it stands for emotional nourishment and support. As we know, all soup is good for us, whether it is made of carrot, potato, onion, celery, Lego, or Waitrose receipt. And listening to a middle-aged man talking about soup makes us feel very comfortable. Another food item that appears frequently is Edward's cake. Invented by Tom Tits in 1950, this rich, fruity cake is made from raisins, sultanas, apricots, prunes, currants, prune juice, castor oil, butter, cream, oats, flour, almonds, king nuts, sulfur, sugar, Lego, tap water, peas, Waitrose receipt, osmium, lettuce, tomato, teabag, rainwater, and rock salt. It is still handmade by the Tits family. There are only 2 of them, Sheila and Ross. The complex mix of ingredients symbolizes mixed emotions. Does Sam want to be making silly podcast, or would he rather be playing with his George Lucas and Ron Howard action figures? Lastly, the name Ian features heavily in all episodes of this wonderful podcast show. Freud was very clear about the name Ian, and he said it belongs to short, stocky man with cauliflower ears and red face. The name Ian is Hebrew in origin and means he has a red face and cauliflower ears. Here, the red face stands for tomato, which is nice with cauliflower in Chester bake or winter sandwich.
A large pile of poo and a huge puddle of wee walk into a bar. "What can I get you?" asks the erect penis behind the bar. "Oh, I'll have a pint of wee," says the pile of poo. "And I'll have a big bowl of poo," says the puddle of wee. "Oh, sorry, we only serve beer and cider and that," says the erect penis. "And also bar snacks like triple-cooked chips and deconstructed burger." "Yes, we realise that," said the poo, who was a male. "We were being satirical." "Yes," said the wee, who was female. "And you say, yes, that makes sense. The poo would be male and the wee would be female." And I say, "What are you talking about? Are you sexist?" What technique do you use to escape boring man at party? What technique do you use to repel attractive woman on bus? And what technique do you use to cause all persons to leave room so you can read your book about aliens in peace? Introducing Egg Breath from Michaels. It's an egg mayo scented spray that you can use to achieve realistic egg breath. Also now available from Michaels is onion flavour, and for extreme situation, dog shit. Every small bottle of Michaels contains 1 squirt of foul liquid. But don't worry, that's more than enough and will last forever. And you say, what about my date next week with Karen Miller? Introducing fresh mint and eucalyptus and ice cream flavour, which won't eliminate egg smell, but will mask it a bit.
So, okay, right then. Yeah, so my ideal sandwich would probably be 6'4" with sandy hair, gherkins, mustard, mayo, lettuce, tomato gel, and a wicked sense of humour. Sorry, excuse me, I had a large sandwich for lunch.
In the 1980s, it was great when you had music like Shrivelled Richard, Shrunken Tom and the Davids, films like Honey, I Shrunk the Utility Bills, and food like shrivelled sausage and thin chips. I wore skin-tight jeans, skin-tight t-shirt with a picture of a raisin on it, and I worked in a dehydrated fruit shop. My boss, Mr. Shrivels, was very thin with shrivelled eyes, and he paid me in dried fruit. But when I tried to pay my landlady, Mrs. Prunes, she said, "No, I do not accept dried fruit as payment for rent." In the 1960s, it was the best when you had music like Shaking David and The Wobblers and films like The Big Jelly Man and food like jelly, milkshake, and even panna cotta. I wore jelly bottoms and a t-shirt with a picture of a jelly on it. And yes, I worked in hospital feeding jelly to people with Parkinson's. My boss, Mr. Parkinson, had a great big soft head that wobbled when he talked. And yes, he did pay me in jelly. And landlady Mrs. Jelly said, "Yes, I do accept jelly as payment."
No neck.
I'll have the water and the cucumber, please. Oh, I'm not a waiter, madam, and I'm pretty sure this isn't a restaurant. What? Of course you are. You've got a bow tie on and you look sort of French. And what do you mean this isn't a restaurant? Look at all the other diners. They're not diners, they're rocks, madam. We're in a quarry. And I assure you, I'm not a waiter. I'm just a guy that is going for a walk. I don't believe a word of it. Why would a guy go for a walk in a quarry? Oh, yes, good point. Well, you've got me. I'm actually a rock too. I guess you're hallucinating. Well, maybe if I was real woman, but here's the twist, which is that I'm a rock too. Okay, so apparently 37% of people have cereal for breakfast, with 17% opting for with milk, 7% preferring cream, and 11% consuming their delicious cereal bowl with rainwater. 17% of all people eat a slice of toast, with 27% slathering it with butter, 17% preferring marmalade, and just 1% opting for toast floating in a bowl milk. Wait, what? That's mad. And finally, 23% of all world people have a bag crisps with a pickled egg, with 17% going for cheese and egg flavour crisps, 27% opting for egg and chive, and the remaining 11% choosing scrambled egg flavoured crisps. A very small minority of people have a bowl of iridium chunks. And you say, wait, isn't that the densest material in the world? And I say, no, that's osmium.
I'm a house, said the house. I'm a tree, said the tree. I'm a cup, said the cup. I'm a monster, said the monster. 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 I'm a house, said the house. I'm a tree, said the tree. I'm a cup, said the cup.
Well, this is the end of part one. Thanks. Listen to part two by heading over to patreon.com/fugcast.
If you enjoyed this, please leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or whatever. IT will help the man that makes Fugcast become huge success.